Nick, in our culture, when I look you in the eyes and I tell you I'm going to do something, you expect me to do it, and I hold you accountable as well. That's just who we are. During COVID, two major things happened. First, the government said we're not going to keep track for a while because there's a national emergency, but that taught people they could steal. And then we began to get politically correct about the things we're saying, which is specifically what happened here in Minnesota, which I heard from Faye, a whistleblower Democrat serving in the Department of Health here, who said I was pointing out that there were problems happening, and not only were they not listening to me, they were scared. They didn't want to be accused as being racist. And then once people realized they couldn't speak about the truth, well, then everything gets hit.
This is what happens when they target communities for their own benefit. This is what happens when they scapegoat. And this is what happens when they no longer hide the idea of white supremacy.
And so we witnessed a confluence of catastrophes that has allowed overall Medicaid spending in the whole country to go up by 50% in the last 5-6 years. And we're seeing a fourfold increase in things like pharmaceutical spending. Again, those are programs you can defraud more readily. And let me give you a couple numbers, because I think this will actually, at some point, it gets almost entertaining that it could get this bad. 1/3 of all hospices in the entire country are in Los Angeles. Again, how many people are dying in LA? Hospices where you go to pass away. They've defrauded that program. In New York State, the number one job in the entire state is now being a personal care service worker, which is, again, the core of your question. These are jobs your family would do for you normally, like carrying the groceries upstairs or driving you to a doctor's office or giving you a place to stay if you're down and out. Now we're just paying people to do that, so it's a jobs program. And so you begin to, as an American, question who was keeping track. And let me just answer that question for you real quick. My agency, who was in charge of at least doing the early warning, just looking at the numbers, was basically told, don't go after these bad guys. You got more important things to do. You got to just sign more people up for these programs. And so the total number of people involved in Medicaid fraud in our program integrity unit, 6 people. Just think of that. For the entire almost $1 trillion program, allocating money to all these programs, some of which are suspect, as you point out, there are 6 people in charge of it. That's not an accident. That's, effectively, it's either malevolently ignoring reality, or you just didn't care.